Clap. Beautiful.
Yeah, the team's performance at the AMA was really, really good. We came from Pro League, and I already addressed this before going to Pro League, that for me the most important tournament of the year was going to be the AMA. Might sound a little bit cliche as a top team, but I mean, it's a qualifier for the biggest tournament. You don't have any advantage being a top team. Everyone is there to beat you. And the fashion that we qualified for the Legend stage was really awesome for us. We finally took down Navi, who's kind of had us in their pocket for 2 or 3 years. And even though it's been a lot of close games and a lot of times where we felt like we should beat them, finally we managed to do so. And obviously under some difficult circumstances for those guys, but you can only beat who and what is in front of you. So yeah, we were super happy about the way that tournament went. I think one of the teams that, I mean, they surprised me in a way, but also not, is Eternal Fire, because we practiced against them and they played really good. So they surprised me back then, but when I had played them in practice, I wasn't too surprised that they actually ended up qualifying. But I also think Saw and Bad News Eagles and some of these like underdog teams who just played amazing CS. Also Force, who we played against, and we were the only team who beat them, is one of those teams which really did good. I think a lot of the teams that were on the cusp, where you'd be like, nah, are they going to qualify? Most likely not. Who did it can be really proud. Yeah, I watched it pretty closely. I felt like potentially it would be a little bit easier than ours, because at least ours had like a really top-heavy field with us, FaZe and Navi. But I also think like a lot of the lower-ranked teams in the Group B also had a lot of like upset potential. So, as always expected, when like you had the European qualifications for the major and now you also added the CIS region to it, it was going to be dangerous for everyone participating. So yeah, high-level CS all along. I think probably that OG didn't manage to qualify. I think that's a pretty big bummer for them. Also, some of the teams they lost to is teams where I feel like they just need to win, so that surprised me a bit. I don't think there's any team we don't want to play, but I definitely still think like Navi and FaZe is two teams that's very difficult to beat. And same goes for NIP. I know they're not like a top team in that sense, but they have like some kind of play style that is, at least actually for a lot of teams it seems, but also for us kind of difficult to play against. But there's also many good teams that we haven't played for a long while. G2, Cloud9, some of these teams. So yeah, I think the majors is just also going to be interesting because there's a lot of matchups which we haven't seen for a while, which I'm super curious to see how they're gonna pan out. I think it's just like really experienced teams, I guess. Sometimes more difficult for us to beat, and it's hard how you're gonna like handle that kind of kryptonite, because the experience is what makes like their decision making and stuff like this good. But I don't think we have like a specific team that we don't want to play, because also I'm saying it every time we draw Navi or whatever, because we've drawn them in difficult matches a few times now, that don't be sad about it. See it as an opportunity to take down the best. That's also why we play, you know. We don't play to get an easy bracket or anything like that. I think if I had to pick one word, it would most likely be innovative. Other word, if I have to throw in a joke, is probably crazy. That was one game, you know. Next time when we start against Navi, it's 0-0 from the start, and it's probably also gonna just elevate their hunger to beat us and prove us wrong. So I don't think it's gonna be any easier to play them the next time, at least not from their level of performance. I think it's just gonna go up, but as the question kind of implies, like potentially there's like a mental hurdle which is now broken down from our side, that okay, we know we can beat these guys now, and that can potentially give us a small edge for next time. But yeah, I mean, simple on a good day, it don't matter how many mental hurdles you beat, you know. Yeah, I think for me, BLAST Showdown is kind of separated into like 2-3 groups. I think like there's the big favorites, which is us, NIP, Astralis, and ENCE, which is like the top 4 seeds, and I think all of us on a given day can take down the last spot. And then there's the next group, which is Flames, Movistar, and Bad News Eagles, which is like these kind of tier 2, tier 3 teams, which has shown they can upset the best teams in the world. And they're proving and they're hoping to do that once more in the BLAST Showdown, which is also a brutal format. You know, the underdogs can really thrive. One good best of 3 and you're out. And then there's IHC, which is, they're probably having like different goals, I could assume, than some of the other teams, because that they're not used to play against this kind of opposition. It's the first time in many years they do so. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people from their region who's going to be cheering for them in the game against us. Yeah, I mean, first we were not able to be a top team. We became a top team. Then we couldn't perform on LAN. Then we performed on LAN. Then we couldn't win events. So I guess the next part and next step for us is to actually win them, because I think we had the major top 4. We had the Royal Arena top 4. We had the IM Katowice top 4. Like, that's 3 of the biggest events. I mean, I don't know how much more we can do to prove those people wrong. I definitely think that there's still way more things that we can improve on and we can become way better. But I think we've shown that by beating, I mean, we've literally beaten Na'Vi, FaZe, Vitality, VP. I can keep going. Astralis, like all these teams, we've beaten them on LAN. I mean, if that's not enough, I don't think I'll ever convince anyone. A major win, I mean, that would definitely be good. I would be able to tell other people, this is what I have. But I think also, don't like try and force it too much, you know. And I mean, the people who's doubting us is also fueling us with like energy and fire to prove them wrong. So the supporters, they give us some love. We take that, we use that, and so it goes with the doubters or the haters. And I'm completely fine with that. Also, I think one of the things I've learned as maturing and becoming older in this scene is you can't satisfy everyone. And I mean, as much as I would like everyone to be cadiaN fans, that's also just not possible, you know. I don't think there's any player, when I look at any forum, Reddit, HLTV, you name it, Twitter, that just has like full love. So it is what it is, you know. Come along, stay away, your own decision.